children of the night. What music they make.
Tear your soul apart. Here's Johnny. Nothing can get you more. If you just put the gun to your forehead and pull the trigger. You love the planet and you only move the headstone. You only move the headstone.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ricky Mortis.
And I'm Boris Lagosa.
And you're listening to With the Dead and Light podcast. This movie, we're covering the film. It's a IFC Midnight film. What Keeps You Alive? Go ahead and get the facts, Boris.
What Keeps You Alive? 2018 horror film from IFC Midnight, directed by Colin Minahan. It stars Hannah Anderson as Jackie and Brittany Allen as Jules, Martha McIsaac as Sarah, and Joey Klein as Daniel. We start off with this couple, Jackie and Jules. They're traveling to their remote cabin in the woods, belonging to Jackie's family, for their 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
Suspense builds up in this slow burner, kind of, at the beginning, as it's revealed in the first part of the movie, where they're visited by Martha McIsaac's character, Sarah, as she calls Jackie Megan.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes on from there.
Instant red flag.
Instant red flag, exactly. Yeah. As the revelation, as Jules asks questions, Jackie / Megan gets more and more defensive. You see more and more of her psychotic side. Eventually, I believe Jules goes and visits Sarah and Daniel at their house, which is across the lake from where they're staying, and they talk about this childhood friend named Jenny.
Yes.
And Sarah approaches Jules and says, well, did Megan ever tell you about what happened to Jenny? And you kind of find out then that they have this scene in the woods where they're talking about asking her what happened to Jenny. She said the cops investigated it. They were swimming across the lake. They used to have these contests of who would make it across the lake, and their childhood friend had drowned. Mm-hmm. Which you kind of start thinking here, was it accident or was it not?
Yeah, because she gives that weird vibe.
Yeah.
Even like the beginning when they get there the first night, and she asks or she wakes up in the morning and she's not there, and when she goes finds her, she's just staring out at the lake, almost like she's having a daydream.
Right.
And then she leaves the next day. She says she's going to town, and she just vanishes and gets that she's going to town. And then, before that though, that next day when they come back after they see Sarah or whatever, they go out and they shoot the guns, and she's trying to shoot the rifle, which I was like, so what a painful scene to me, because she puts that rifle barrel down into the dirt. I'm like, you're gonna die in this movie, I can tell. But then, when Jackie takes the gun and she just lets loose and takes all the cans out, bam, 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 and just shoots them all perfectly. With no hesitation. And I'm like, okay, this girl's kind of a badass. So what's going on with her? And that starts to spark more because she doesn't really know. She's been married to this girl for over a year, and then within a day of being at this place, she sees her shoot these guns. She's didn't know she shot guns, and then she gets called a completely different name by her old friend that she hasn't seen in years.
Right.
So that sparks her interest. So the next morning when she goes, or when you guys know I'm terrible at names. Amateur move right there. Now, when they have the next morning when she goes to the store, Jules decides that she's going to go. She's going to investigate. She has to know more from Sarah, so she gets in the boat and there's this long hike across the river, or across the lake or whatever to there, and then that's where they had the meeting. But go ahead and continue.
That meeting with Sarah and Daniel was very awkward. So they go back, they go in the woods, they have this talk, they go out to this cliff set out in the front here at the camp, and Jules and Jackie are talking. Jackie's standing behind. I'm thinking during this part, oh fuck, something's gonna happen here. All of a sudden, Jackie goes barreling towards Jules, pushes her off the cliff.
Yeah,
probably falls 25, 30 feet.
Yeah, if not more. You hear her hit that thud.
Yeah, that thud she hits. I'm like, shit. At first watching this film, leading up to this scene, I thought this was almost like, it kind of gave me a little bit of vibes of I Spit on Your Grave, a little bit. not with like the rape or anything, but like with the scenery, like the kind of secluded.
Yeah. I was almost thinking like The Good Son. Honestly, that's the vibe I got.
Right. Barreling on though, after this happens, you're seen with Jules on the ground, and she's still alive. Tough cookie, this one is.
Yeah, for sure.
Tough but dumb, and we'll go into that later on. But she gets up, she's hiding, trying to slowly make her way back to the cabin without Jackie knowing, or Jackie/Megan knowing she's still alive. She's making her way back to the cabin. She gets back in, hits a first aid kit. She's got all kinds of broken bones. I think she's putting stitches in her stomach.
Yeah, well, stitches in her stomach. But I mean, I'm not trying to jump back too far, but when it shows her laying there, she thinks that she's, she immediately thinks that she's dead. There's no way she's gonna fall from that length.
Right.
So there's this really fucked up scene where you have Jackie is looking, aka Megan, is looking herself in the mirror, and she's like crying.
Rehearsing.
She's like straight up rehearsing. It's like, I was like, oh my god, this girl's. That right there. I'm like, okay, listen, like maybe. My whole thought was like, maybe she had this guilt. Maybe her friend Roy did die, and it wasn't her fault, and she's had this guilt her whole life, and that like almost like she completely. Maybe she changed her name, but maybe she went away, and this is this whole thing. Like this is her like. It brought back all the memories. She couldn't take it. That's why she's staring at the lake at the beginning of the movie. And maybe this is just like too much for her to handle, and she felt that maybe her wife knew too much and was expecting that too, so she pushed her off out of rage. But no, that's not the case at all. So you see Jackie standing in the mirror, and she's like, "Oh, my wife!" Oh, like almost like she's practicing the 911 call. Like, "Oh, my wife, she fell! Oh my God, it's so horrible!" And then she's like, kind of stops, and it's like, okay. And I see her walk back like she's gonna go make sure that she's dead. And at that time, when she gets there, she realizes she's not there, and she's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta go find her." And that's when Jules is back there, trying to fix herself up.
And she makes her way back. She patches herself up, cleans herself, uses some Bactine, gets everything cleaned up, and she bolts. Megan comes back. Megan comes back and finds all this stuff around the house, so she knows, oh shit, she's still alive. And I believe she catches up with her.
Yeah, well, she sees it. Her whole thing is she's like, "Listen, I'm going to run. I'm going to try to get in the boat because she doesn't have the keys. She doesn't have the keys to the Jeep. She can't ride a Jeep. There's no where they're at. Way out in the boonies, so there's no like internet access, or either that or that Jackie turned it off. So Jules, she gets into the boat and she's like,
rolling her ass off.
Yeah, and when you see her get off the ground, like she's all busted up. She's a real bad concussion, so she's like in and out of consciousness. Her fingers are broken. She has like I'm not sure, or dislocated shoulder. Your ankle was either broken or really badly strained or brain or whatever the fuck you want to say, sprained. And she also has her shoulder's dislocated, and she puts it back in place. That's a really gross scene too. So, but she's like paddling her ass off trying to get across this thing. Jackie has the rifle that she shoots at the beginning, and she puts tranquilizers in it, and she's trying to shoot, and she's missing. And what's her face? She said, "Okay, listen, there's only one way." So she gets into a boat and she's paddling next to her, like trying to catch up to her. And they get probably out.
Very intense scene.
They get within probably 50 yards from the dock, and Daniel was sitting there, the husband of Sarah. And they start screaming. Of course, she's covered in blood, but she's just enough distance he can't really tell.
Yeah.
He can just hear them arguing.
Or he's wine drunk.
Yeah, because he's a whiner. He's like drinking the whole movie. And then he goes, "Hey, ladies, you guys, everything all right?" Just like being fucking clueless, and like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." And like, "You guys still on?" Because we're supposed to go to dinner. When they have the whole meeting,
they invited her
for dinner for Sunday night because they're only there for the weekend. Like, listen, before you guys leave, Monday morning, stop over for dinner on Sunday. So she says, "Oh no, our Megan's character, aka Jackie, is like, oh, we're actually not going to be able to make it on." They're trying to cover it up.
Jules yells,
No. Yeah. Jackie's, we're not going to be able to make it on Sunday night, and Jules yells, "Oh, we'll make it tonight, 8:00."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. It's like now, like she's like, "Why'd you do that?" No, I told you not to say anything. I was going to fucking kill your ass if you said something.
Right.
Because the whole time she has this knife up to her throat, and then so now it's this whole plan. Like, what are you going to do? So They make it all the way back, and they go all the way back to the
bathtub. And
they get back to the house. Yeah, you had that scene where they're and she puts her in the bathtub, and she's like washing, almost like prepping her. Like, listen, like, you know, you shouldn't have put these stitches in you. You shouldn't have did all this stuff. Like, now I have to really have to, you know, if you say one thing or should have any type of sign, you know, we're going to say that you fell or whatever, we're trying to cover this up. You say one thing, I'm going to take this knife, I'm going to stick it right through her sternum. I'm going to take it all the way down to her gut, turn it over, and I'm going to spill her guts out. You know, pretty much this whole like thing, like, you know, don't say anything. So, of course, they have the dinner.
Yeah, we get to the dinner party scene where things seem to be low key. Jules is talking to Sarah. They're all talking at dinner. Then you get a sidebar where Daniel's outside with Jackie and Jules is inside with Sarah. And Jackie looks inside while Daniel is revealing, hey, I got something to tell you. My wife kind of thinks you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
And as this is going on, she sees Jules pleading with Sarah on the inside. Not inaudible of what, you can't hear what she's saying, but she's obviously saying, like, send help, you know. And Sarah has this look on her face. Jackie goes ballistic. First of all, she slits Daniel's throat right in front of the door.
It's like a full-on, like, body spin into it. Like she's like some professional assassin. And this sprays his ass, like, you know, there's blood all over the window. Then, like, you know, of course, like, she bum rushes Sarah. Sarah tries to run upstairs. She meets her in the hallway, takes her to the floor, struggles for like 10 seconds, and then barrels the knife into her chest, or into the gut.
And stabs her a shit ton of times.
Well, right before she finished off, he puts that thing on the gut, you can see Sarah's eyes light up, and she looks at her, and she tells her that, she said, Jenny fought harder, and lets her know that she purposely killed Jenny. And then barrels it down, pulls it out, and just like goes, I mean, she just like stabs her probably solid 15 times. And it's like just blood just spraying everywhere. And of course, then she goes down the stairs and she lays into Jules' character. And she listen, like, you know, you can't, like, you know, there's this whole scene where she takes the flashlight and she puts a flashlight up to her face. And Ginger should never flash a flashlight in her face because she looks creepy. Her face, his whole face is just like pale white. And I forget what she says to her, but then she's listen, like, you know, you're going to, she like, grabs the axe. And she's like, you know, like, and she runs up and she chops. She starts chopping Sarah up, and she looks back and she says, "Like, don't think it's too. Don't get calm down. Because I'm making you do the next one." And she's gonna make her like butcher the next one. And there's this whole scene when they cut to the next scene after she like chops up Sarah's body. And there's this whole next scene where she's sitting there and Jules is just distraught, and she is sitting there and she's like shaking and crying and she's trying to clean blood off the wall. And Jackie's like, "Listen, I told you to dab." Not to yeah, because if you don't, you know, Frederick's gonna pick it up really fast. If you don't dab, if you're like rubbing the sponge on the wall, it's gonna fuck it up. So, you know, it's just like, so you start like, how many times like how many people has she killed? And then my whole thing was also in this movie was they never said anything about the parents. Did she kill her parents?
Yeah, you never heard anything about that. There was no backstory with that.
So as I open this beer up. Oh, that sounded good. Anyway, so what comes next? They have like that scene. This is actually probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. Is when the cleanup scene when it shows her like there's a scene where they're cleaning up. It's just the cleanup when she's like yelling at Jules, and she realizes that Jules isn't going to get shit done. So there's this cut scene where it shows Jackie playing the piano, because Jackie at the beginning of the movie, she sings a song to her about this demon in the house, demon in my head, or whatever it was, and they have this whole conversation of them laying in bed together, where she says that Jules has a crow tattoo on her shoulder, and she's like, "Well, if you're a crow, I'm a bald eagle," and like and almost like saying like she's like alpha predator or whatever, and she's intelligent, but she's, you know, alpha predator or whatever. Right. So there's this whole scene where there's this beautiful music playing. Like she's playing like this like piano part, and like there's like this. It's like, and she's like she's using the black light to be able to see the bloodstains, and like this whole scene where she's like cleaning the whole house, and she's like putting the plastic, and she's like cleaning the whole house of all the blood, and everything's in this like purplish black light glow, which has a really cool effect to it. And the whole time you just see it's like the song. I always love the silent scream in movies. where she's like, it shows Jules and she's like tied up to the bed, and she's just like like silently screaming, like shaking, trying to break off the ropes, whatever. And Sarah's just like calmly going through the house, cleaning everything. You know, and that's actually one of my favorite parts. And another thing she says to her is when she tells her that she comes downstairs after she like butchers and stabs Sarah like fucking 15, 20 times. She walks downstairs. She puts her takes Jules' fingers, puts her on her neck. Remember that part?
She goes, she goes, your heart's racing.
Yeah, we feel like it's racing. It's like, you know, they'll feel mine. So she goes, how's it feel?
Steady.
It's steady. It's calm. So that's exactly. I'm like, you know what's so crazy though? It's like, the first time, it's just like, side story, guys. The first time I killed a hog, a big ass, like butchered a hog or whatever. I'm like, man, I don't want, like, you know, I've hunted, you know, and killed many animals. But I was like, man, like, it's kind of fucked up, like something you raised it. You know, like, I'm kind of like, I'm there, I'm okay with butchering it, but like, I don't want to kill it. And I remember, like, our neighbor came over and shot the hog, and he told my brother was like ex-military guy, shoots the hog, and the hog fucking falls down. And it's shaking, and like, the whole body goes to convulsions, whatever. My brother runs down. So when you shoot a hog, you gotta shoot in the head, it falls, we're gonna have to cut its neck, you have to hang up so all the blood comes out, so it doesn't damage the meat and everything. So my brother runs down, he cuts it, and there's like blood squirting everywhere. I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, alright, this is okay, it's over now. We'll just do the butchering now. The killing part's over. And I remember my brother looking at me, and he had blood all down his arm, all over his shirt, it sprayed blood everywhere. And he looked at me and goes, my heart didn't skip a beat. I immediately thought that's that part, in that part of the movie, I was like, man, she's like my brother, man, she's a fucking psychopath. But anyway, get back to it. So, what comes next? She has the whole, they clean up everything. Oh,
they
yeah.
get in the Jeep.
Well, they get into the boat.
Yeah.
Dump all the body parts.
Right, they do that. They go through the whole scene where they're dumping the body parts in. Sarah and Daniel, unfortunately, their deaths in the river now.
Yeah.
Then they go back, and I believe they get ready to leave. Mm-hmm. Or Jules, I think, has this plan like hatched out.
Yeah.
Where she has the the tranquilizer dart.
Well, she tells her that at the table. Remember, they go back after they dump the bodies. They go back to the table, and she makes her food. And she gets up the next morning. She has,
I need you to die on a.
Yeah, and she's like, eat up. You have to have a full stomach when if they choose to do an autopsy.
Yeah.
That scene was like fucked up. But they had that scene where she has a dream. Like after Jack's character cleans the whole house, and she literally lays next to her while she's all tied up, goes to sleep peacefully. Jules has that dream where she like breaks loose and kills her. And then when she wakes up, and she goes out, they go to goes downstairs.
During this whole scene, I don't see how she doesn't wake Jackie up.
Yeah.
She gets on top of her to try and get away.
Yeah.
This whole scene, I'm thinking she's gonna wake up. Like any second, she's gonna fucking wake up, and she didn't. That scene kind of boggled me, but I mean, it had its, you know.
I guess if you're a psychopath, you just sleep so peacefully. You know, you're not bothered by like sudden movement and different things.
Right.
But then they have that scene where she has her downstairs. She's cooking her breakfast or
her last meal.
Yeah, her last meal. Like, make sure you have a full stomach for the autopsy. And she's like, and then, like, you see her with the pliers. You know, she's like, what the pliers for? So you can't have stitches in your stomach when they find your body. Like, and almost like a cold fuck. You know, like, I don't know how they wouldn't.
This almost did have good son qualities to it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a mixture of different horror films.
Yeah. But then what happens? Oh yeah, then they have the. Do they get into the boat? Or no. They're walking out there. They're walking out to the point where she's like, listen, like, you know, she's gonna fill her up. She's gonna walk her out there, and her whole plan is she has to make sure that she gets like. And it seems like she fell from the thing. She's gonna take her back out to the same point, and she's like barely making it up there. She's like struggling to get up there because she's like ever so beat up and everything else, exhausted and completely just worn out and beat up. And they walk all the way out to that point again. And there's a scene where she has, like, you know, she was like planning, where she got that trank, and she has it in her side, and she hits Sarah with it, and not Sarah, she hits Jackie with it, and then Jackie stumbles for a few feet and then drops. And there's the fucking grave mistake that she makes. What does she do?
She fucking comes back.
No, well, before she doesn't come back, she doesn't kill her.
She doesn't kill her,
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
But wasn't there a scene where they're in a Jeep, too, and she stabs her with the trank?
I don't remember. Honestly, I thought they walked up there.
They did walk up.
No. That's what it was. Did she hit her twice with a drink?
I remember a scene in the Jeep, too, where
Yeah.
where she...
Well, I feel like that's when she finds her. Or she tries to run and she hits her with the thing. No, I don't remember, man. She's doing a trick.
I know, you're right about her tranking her on the cliff. She did do that.
Yeah. And she doesn't kill her. Like, here she has
doesn't
perfect
kill her.
opportunity.
And she leaves.
Yeah.
And then she comes back to check on her, and she's gone. So
Yeah.
she's going back to the house. She's playing really loud music.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but there's a scene, it's an important scene. It's where she makes that grave mistake where she doesn't get she doesn't kill her. I'm gonna tell you, people, listen. This is like classic horror. Like
Yeah.
if you have if the killer is after you, you knock the killer down. You make sure the killer's dead. I don't care if you have to unload every magazine you have on you, use every weapon you have on you, take the head off, whatever you have to do. Like, there is no way, like, I'm not sure her level thought, whatever the hell it was, not thought that she could fix her somehow, because there's this whole scene where at the beginning of the movie where she tells her, right, after everything happens, she tells her, like, please, listen, you need help. You have an issue. I'm willing to be there through everything. Please, don't kill me.
She's pleading with her.
I'll forget everything that happened. Please, 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 let me get you help. I love you. This is that's almost like her last little thing before she realized this isn't like. And she tells her too, like, Jackie's like, listen, like, whatever you say, like, it means nothing to me. I never loved you. Like, I knew from the moment I saw you that I was going to kill you. Like, this whole thing. So while Jules is in her Jeep and she's peeling off down the road, she pulls off the side of the road and she's sitting there and she looks over and she sees a crow. And it's this whole thing where she sees like this whole dream sequence or this repeat of the previous conversation 2 days before, where they're laying there and she's doing this, caw, caw, I'm a crow. And she's like, like, oh, if you're a crow, because that tattoo on her shoulder.
I'm a bald eagle.
I'm a bald eagle. And then she's like, I'm going back. She goes back, like he said, goes back up there, she's gone, and then she's like, all right, now she's going to have her, if we're going to talk about the good side, now she's have her Home Alone moment, where she's going to go up to the thing and set up this whole crazy thing where she's going to bring Jackie back to kill her, or take her hostage, or whatever she's going to plan on doing. She goes back, she plays the music, what are you saying?
She's playing loud music, she's trying obviously to get Jackie to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get this scene where Jackie comes in.
Yeah.
There's a struggle for a while. This goes on for quite a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have their ending, I believe, attack up in the attic.
Yeah, they have that scene where she's like, she doesn't show up, and she's like, she knows she's a predator, man. She's going to show up at nighttime. Right. So like, she's with Jules blasting music, waiting for her to tell her to come back, and then you see like kind of like it's like a couple hours go by and the sun goes down. Jackie's going to come at that time. She knows she's going to come. Like, she doesn't want her to see her coming up. She doesn't want to get a clean shot off her. She has a rifle. Like, she wants to make sure that she is that she can sneak up on her. So she sneaks up into the house. She's walking through, and like she walks into the living room where they have this bear, which is something we actually forgot to talk about.
What keeps you alive?
Yeah, the whole what keeps you alive story actually began in this movie. When she tells her, like, she thought that she used to hunt and to shoot the gun, she tells the story of her father teaching her and her friend how to hunt. Like, she gets them up early in the morning, gives them a gun, and gives them both a gun and tells them to go out into the woods. And she says, listen, like, what keeps you alive, or what you
kill is what keeps you alive.
Yeah, what you kill is what keeps you alive. Whatever, like, pretty much like. Whatever you kill, make sure you use every part of it. It's almost like this Native American type of thing. Like, nothing go to waste. Right. And she tells a story where she was walking in and she was really nervous about shooting a gun and shooting an animal, and this bear walks out in front of her. And she says, like, this bear walks out in front of me, and I pull the gun up, and I take this shot. And I remember thinking, like, I was so proud that my father was going to be so excited that I killed this animal, and I walk up on it, it's still alive. And I think she says, she's like, I want to do the humane thing and hit it again and make sure it's dead, but I didn't. I just sat there and just wait for it and watch it die. And this whole, like, traumatic scene to her. So, bring it back. Here we are. She walks into that same room where the bear is at. Here comes Jules. She pulls the gun out. But she's like, here we go again. Horror movie 101. If you ever seen a slasher or any type of horror movie, type of villain, if you have a shot, take it. You don't need to tell me. Fuck that last line. Like, you son of a bitch. You don't need that.
But she's pointing this old rifle at her, and she's like, "That's an old rifle. It's gonna shrapnel's gonna blow back in your face."
Yeah.
Which, if you know anything about firearms, the thing's clean and it's gonna fire.
Yeah.
Like,
but Jules does not. That's why she puts that gun barrel down at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And this is why I knew she was gonna listen to her.
Yeah. During this scene, I knew what the outcome was gonna be. Either Jules was gonna stand down, and then we're screaming at the TV, "Take the shot!"
Yeah. You are like, she's going to kill you. Like, are you going back and make sure she's still alive? Like, make sure she's dead? Like, no. If you're going back to make sure she's dead, then kill her when you have the opportunity. Don't wait to talk to her and get some kind of resolution or give one more chance to think that she's going to change. She's a fucking psychopath.
Right.
She admits you watched her try to kill you more than once. You watched her
there
butcher
ain't no help in this
with that axe. Both her old friend from her childhood and a man she just met. Like, there's no saving this woman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, people. Like, I work in a fucking prison system. Some people are fucked. Like, if you're willing to kill and butcher, like, there's no like shock therapy or whatever it's going to save your brain. You are a killer, and that's what you do. And when you look at someone in the eyes and explain to them how you kill, and you're going to continue to kill, and you're just a victim to them. From the moment they saw you, and this person lied to you, you've been married for over a year, you don't even realize she has a different name. Like, there's no saving this woman. And I'm all about, like, mental health. Like, if you have, some people have this, you can reach to them or whatever. She's fucking gone.
This broad's fucked.
So
you get to this scene though where they're struggling, they're fighting.
Yeah. She takes a shot and she misses.
She gets, obviously,
twice.
You go up in the attic, you have this tussle. You don't hear what happens. You see Hannah Anderson's character, Jackie Megan, come down the steps.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you get to this cutscene where she takes her out to the cliff.
Yeah.
And as she's kicking her,
Jules
wakes up and goes, "Wait!"
Yeah. And you hear, dead.
And while this happens, Jackie Megan walks back to the cabin.
Yeah.
She opens up the computer. We forgot the part where she goes on the laptop and she's recording something.
Yeah, but we also forgot, amateur move here, don't want to talk about doing research, we forgot that she is a type 1 diabetic.
Yes.
So she takes insulin at the beginning of the movie too.
Right.
So go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, insulin was very important, and we apologize for forgetting that detail, but this comes into play here. Jackie opens up the computer, watches this video as she's injecting herself with insulin. Jules pops on the screen and says, "Hey, good thing you're watching this, yada yada yada.
You've seen this, now know that I'm dead.
Yeah, you'll now know that I'm dead, and pretty much your demise is coming because you just injected yourself with hydrogen peroxide, which is going to cause you to have a stroke."
Yeah.
This, ladies and gentlemen, I thought was a very cool scene.
Yeah.
Like, this was like, okay, our main character, our beloved character, the one we took pity on, is dead. But she got hers.
Yeah.
And as Jackie's running, as she's slowly dying, as the embolisms or whatever is rolling up in her brain, the peroxide's going through her body, she runs and sees her younger self.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this was a very cool,
artsy fartsy kind of scene where she's like
art house horror type scene.
Yeah, where she's like running through, and it's almost that same play where they shows her as a young girl taking out a shot at that bear.
Right.
And when she pulls the trigger, it shows it's the exact precise moment where the clock meets her brain.
Yeah.
And she just like sprawls out like she got shot.
Yep.
And she falls to the ground. And it's almost like you have the bear bleeding out, and she's like bleeding out internally.
Right.
In this scene, and of course she dies. Go ahead.
And then basically she passes on. It goes to a cutscene back to Jules, This is the part we need to talk about during this review, and see what the fans think about this.
Yeah, if it's end of the movie, beginning of the movie type of thing too.
Right. The end of the movie, you hear a breath, like an exhale. Excuse me, it's just beer. Whew. So this makes me think either that was her last breath, or she was still alive.
Yeah, that's my whole thing is too. Because the movie opens up with this. The movie begins with this sight of like treetops, like almost like someone's laying on the ground, or the camera's like looking straight up. And the end of the movie ends like that too. You see, like all of a sudden, you come back to that same exact scene at the very end of the movie, where you see that and you realize that's Jules' character laying on the ground.
Right.
And she is like, her eyes are open. She's laying there. You know, and then you think it's like, and there's this whole scene where you see the eyes. So as it gets darker, and her eyes close, and then you hear this, and it goes off.
Right.
And it leaves you like we said. Is that the death rattle? Is that her? She's still alive? Is she still alive? Like fuck, like like she had like fucking 20 lives, because she should have died multiple times.
Brittany Allen did a hell of a job in this film. She played a hell of a good character. The acting in this was superb. My thoughts on this film was I thought this film was very well done.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, IFC Midnight seems to
they're killing it.
Like A24, they're killing it.
Yeah.
With these films that are coming out, and there's going to be a lot more reviews where that came from with A24, with IFC Midnight. You know, this movie though, from what I've read online, only made $20,000 worldwide.
It's ridiculous.
That's
so crazy.
This movie. This was a great movie. I thought there was nothing. The only thing I found wrong with this movie was the fact that Brittany Allen's character went back.
Yeah, and she shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And she had so many chances to take her out, and she didn't. Like, did she had to mean more to her?
Right.
Like, did she want to die? Did it make it take that shot? I guess you don't have a movie if you just take that shot, you know?
Right. Your thoughts, Rig. Your thoughts.
I think I thought the movie was great. I was just a little disappointed. Like, I didn't like I said, I didn't see that scene coming, and it did kind of piss me off that she went back and did all this whole thing, this whole epic battle, and she doesn't take the shot. Or she doesn't kill her in this crazy. I mean, it's clever, but it's almost like a whole type of thing too. You have the bald eagle and the crow. Crows are very intelligent animals, and that was the whole
She outsmarted the bald eagle.
Yeah, did she die in the end? I'm pretty sure she is dead. Maybe she was alive. She's not gonna make it back. There's no way you're gonna fall. A total of 50-some feet.
That's why
5 feet twice.
That's why I really, really hope not because I don't want to see a sequel, but for these type of movies. You probably shouldn't have one.
Yeah.
Because Brittany Allen's character probably more than likely is dead.
Yeah.
But all in all, this was a good film. It was a fun watch.
You just think, that movie made $20,000, but I bet you didn't take much to make it.
I don't know. It looked like it looked.
Production value is great.
Yeah.
I guess you're right there. But also saying that you only have 4 actors in it.
Right.
3 actors and an actor.
The payroll's probably...
The payroll's probably pretty good. They probably paid them a lot more.
And they filmed it in one location.
They filmed one location. You got 2 spots.
This was actually a Canadian film.
I believe it.
Yeah.
What's it called? Did they film that in Canada too?
What's that?
The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I'm not sure about that one.
That was the other IFC Midnight movie we filmed.
There'll be plenty more.
Yeah, because if they continue to bring out films like that, see, it's thing is Boris is always telling me about shit. He's always listen, check this movie. This movie's awesome. Check it out. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I never do. But now they start this whole series. It's kind of forcing me. I love horror movies. Don't get me wrong. But I just maybe it's a commitment issue. I don't know. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll check it out. I'm like, all right, it's a whole hour and a half, 2 hours. I got something else I gotta do. But now I've been kind of getting forced to watch these movies, and I've been loving it. Everything you've suggested so far has been great. The only thing I didn't like about this movie was the fact that she won. But I guess you wouldn't have a movie, or if she didn't,
you wouldn't have your main battle scene.
It just pissed me off because she had all these opportunities, and of course she still dies. She doesn't make it at the end, which is kind of maybe what's up with the IFC that constantly killed everybody. There's no survivors. That's just a side character that isn't really that necessary. But other than that, this movie's great. And how if you saw the picture. on the post or whatever, and then you just watch it before you listen to this episode because we're gonna tell everything about it. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. It was great. It was really cool. It's definitely like a huge, big thriller, well thought out. Definitely gives me like a Good Son kind of vibe, which Good Son's a fucking fantastic movie. So I think it's all thing I have to say about it, man.
All right.
Well, I'm Ricky Mortis.
And I'm Boris Lagosa.
This has been With the Dead of the Night, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and we are available on all listening platforms. So check us out. We'll see you later.